Is there anything that your character has done that you've vehemently objected to or wanted to change, or a direction? Was there ever any kind of big moment where it was you were kind of like, okay, this is one I really got to stand behind?
You mean something that I objected
something
to?
you objected to, or that you really vehemently wanted to go in this direction or that direction?
Well, early on, there were references. This was one correction we made early on. This is just an example where the line might have been, for example, like Monk saying, "Well, I may be crazy, but," and I said, "Listen, let's not ever let Monk refer to himself as crazy. Let's other people, the villain, the adversary, whatever. That's okay for them to speak about Monk in a derogatory way, but for Monk to speak of himself that way, or for the people close to him to that's something I really wanted. I wanted to protect the disability and the character, and that's just one thing. But and the writers were just totally on board, instantly got it, and we save those moments for the our ways which the audience gets a glimpse into how Monk is going to be able to cope. He's not going to get rid of it, but he's going to hopefully learn some kind of coping skills, which is what you're, and as we all grow and mature, or what we refer to as maturity, we learn to, I think in a lot of cases, I think this was true for me, a discovery I made doing the character, is that I didn't really ever grow out of the things. I just learned different ways to repress them. I repressed obsessions and compulsions, and that's kind of like that's sort of the mechanism of doing the character of Monk is I uncork the bottle, and so everything that I normally would let out or not let out, I'm just letting flow. So I think we all have our ways of seeming normal or seeming acceptable, and again, those shrink scenes are just, for me, they're just like for me it's like swinging from one, on a vine from one tree to another. They're so, I love those scenes so much. First of all, they give me a chance to sit down. I just sit down, and I get a chance to kind of rediscover the problem all over again each time.
And Hector, it's really like a sanctuary when the two of you are in there.
It is.
It's really, it's quiet. It's very sort of sterile in its own way, and it's like a sanctuary.
It is, and it becomes this sort of, it's like church in a way. We always have problems on set. There'll be noise on the soundstage or this or that, and we can all cope with it. But when we're doing those shrink scenes, if there's a little, we hear a little bing in the distance, we go nuts. We're just like, we're doing a shrink scene. It has to be absolutely still. It's just a sort of like a little religious thing. It's very, very important to us and to and Hector's folded into the whole thing. So
after a while with complacency, not to just mail it in sometimes, and you get into a certain comfort zone, and to constantly be evolving the show. Is that whether from the writer and producer standpoint or the actor, is that something you fight against?
Well, certainly, yeah. But in this particular case, it's somehow it remains challenging. And again, it's a tribute to the writers. They're really, really good, and I should say ruthless, about presenting us with these challenges.
Yeah, they will throw anything at you,
and they just don't care about us.
Yeah, it's about being aware of when you're getting to that place where after a long week and you're starting another episode that you phone it in, because I mean I think the thought goes through everybody's mind, but I think everybody on this show has a knack of keeping everybody else on their toes. I mean I know Ted does it for me all the time. I mean I don't have a better Dean Martin in the world, right? I mean yeah, like seriously, always kind of it's like, what else can we do? What else can we do? What else can we find? What else can we mine in this scene? And collectively we always seem to be able to come up with something more
on this show that it's just unparalleled. I mean, the writers do things which demonstrate that they trust us. We see things on the page, we think this is never going to fly ever, and then we just take a pause and we go, you know what? I'm going to commit to this, and 9 times out of 10, lo and behold, if you commit fully, because of that trust thing, it works. I mean, I can tell you we just aired this Christmas episode, Mr. Mug of the Miracle, on Friday. And there were 2 moments in that script that I just had zero confidence in. I love these writers, but I just said, I'm going to do this, but I got to tell you, I don't think I can make this sing. And I'm sure these guys have had this experience too. But we make a leap of faith. The 2 moments for anyone who saw the episode were, the scene where Traylor and I are in the monk robes, and I stop to adjust, and we start slapping each other. I was like, this is stupid. It's from a Bing Crosby, Bob Hope road picture. I've done this in every, but when we did it, every time I watched it in the editing room, it made me laugh. I just thought, how can this work? And the other moment was the singing summation. I thought, I don't want to do that. I hope to have a future in this town. And again, we've been down that road a number of times, so we've learned that you make that leap, and it is a level of trust. The writers trust the director, trust our fellow actors, and lo and behold, they became my 2 favorite moments.
So you don't do the I know my character better than anyone. You will change this in the script now.
Yeah, we've all had that kind of experience. I think we've all been in that mindset, and Monk, this show, has in a lot of ways it's taught us all a really valuable lesson that it is in the end a collaborative venture.
It's an environment where we're allowed to kind of fall on our faces, and it's not a fear-based kind of show.
Right.
So if you're comfortable enough to kind of make mistakes and be supported in them, to maybe find your way to the right answer, it just makes it so much easier, because I think there's times where we all suck on set, or feel we all suck on set, and then we have the support.
You just suck harder.
Yes, exactly.
But we do bounce off. We talk to each other and we say, listen, am I completely, just is it total egg on my face here, and then we can sort of kind of guide each other, and sometimes we sabotage each other. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, it's great.
No, keep doing that.
No, we don't do that. We don't do that. But we're not afraid. This group of actors and writers too, I think, and directors, we're not afraid to fail, and we're not afraid to risk, and we're not afraid to make gigantic fools of ourselves. Which I've said before, I've been quoted before, and I'll say it again. Is for me, it's that 50% of acting is the willingness to.
What's it like working with him, with Tony? Come on,
I can leave.
We're alone now. It's okay.
Actually, I just said it out there in an interview. It's kind of like, and it goes for everybody, but Tony especially, because he's kind of the sun of the show. We're just little planets who revolve around the sun. It's a learning experience. But to see Tony also carries the workload of the show, and to see a guy come to work every morning with a smile on his face, bringing coffee and muffins to the cast when he's the last one to leave, and as the bulk of the work on every episode, we're so lucky. And, as says, even though he'll drive you crazy obsessing over something for, half the day, in a scene,
Not happening.
it's all worth it at the end. It's all worth it at the end when you see kind of when you see the finished product. And I mean, it's just you mentioned it earlier. You can't see anybody else playing this part.
And he doesn't seem like he puts on any airs or any of the star stuff. It's good to have a star who plays ball and wants everybody to look good.
Yeah, and as an actor, and I mean also as an executive producer, as all these guys are, everyone's really hands-on, and it's nice to see. And you're allowed to speak your mind on our set, and it becomes a great collaboration at the end of the day, where you can. I mean, I don't care who's got the better line reading or the better thing. If it comes from a grip, it's fine. Our electricians, it's like it's what makes the show work. And I mean, we've got a real good thing going. So,
have you had some episodes written by grips and electricians?
Yes, and I have a few coming out next season myself.